Buenos dias, everybody. Welcome back to BowlTV. My name is Matt Canizaro, and you are here for the final day of women's qualifying at the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. We are here live at Bowl 300, Bowl 300 in Hermosillo, Mexico. Third time this city has hosted the World Cup, sixth time for Mexico. And it's been a great week so far. This is our fourth and final day of qualifying. The ladies on the lanes right now for their last 6-game block. 18 games already in the books. After this 6 games, we will know our top 24 heading on to the next round. That'll take place tomorrow. We'll have all the details for you as things unfold. But thank you for being here. Tell all your friends. This will be your last chance to see some of these ladies from around the world. So if you have a favorite player, cheer her on now. See if you can cheer her into the top 24. Get her at least 8 more games to compete. It's been a great week of bowling. Some excitement. Some great scores. We had 1-300 so far. Our defending champion, Jenny Wagner of Sweden, rolled that in her 2nd game of qualifying. She took the lead at that point and has been the leader every game since. Got challenged last night. An early run from Rebecca Whiting of Australia, but Jenny able to hold on. So she is your leader coming into the final 6 games. Again, top 24 advance. Double 8 more games tomorrow morning. And then 32-game pinfall totals will determine the 8 bowlers heading to round-robin match play tomorrow afternoon. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat for us. Keeps things flowing nicely and interesting, and it helps to know what you want to know. So we'll offer whatever we can information-wise this week. Competitors bowling on a 41-foot oil pattern. Pretty standard at the World Cup. Generally the same type of pattern. The idea to be competitive, but a little higher scoring. Keep things light and fun and entertaining for the fans at home. I've got wire-to-wire coverage here on BowlTV. In just a minute, we'll meet our 7 players here for our opening game on day 4 of qualifying. The World Cup essentially is an opportunity to showcase all that QubicaAMF has to offer. So right now we're bowling on QubicaAMF lane panels, and the centers for the World Cup often have upgrades in scoring and furniture, machines, you name it. I also use QubicaAMF lane machine. The Summit S is the machine of choice this year, and QubicaAMF oil as well. We're using Utopia oil for this 41-foot oil pattern, so a little bit of a challenge there sometimes for folks unfamiliar with how that type of oil might transition. So it keeps things interesting, and every day players moving across the 32-lane house here. We've used lanes 3 through 30 for qualifying, and the players move different directions, so they'll cross with different players each game, each day. So you always have to stay on top of the transition, watch the players ahead of you, see what they're doing, see how they're finding success or how they're playing the lanes, and make your game plans from there. So players all allowed to check in 8 balls. And they have the opportunity to change surfaces on those balls at the end of the day or before the next day's competition, but not during one of the 6-game blocks. So some strategy involved there. All right, so you've got the basics right now, but I'll be here. I'll be your tour guide for the next 6 games. Let's meet our players here for our opening game. Day number 4, game 1 of 6 on our featured pairs, 17 through 20. To our left on 17, we have from Israel, Advelioff. From the Netherlands, Ghislaine Vandertol. And from El Salvador, Edith Quintanilla. And on 19 and 20, you guys already have pointed out the young lady from Russia, listed as 17-year-old left-hander. That is Maria Koschel. She does have a very good look, has thrown the ball well, but struggled a little bit overall. But 6 more games to try to make something happen here. And also on 19 and 20 this game, from the Czech Republic. We've seen her bowl well under the TV lights here. That is Anna Pitakova. From the Ukraine, Alexandra Levchuk. And from Macau, China, is Julia Lamb. If you want to check out the women's standings, either round by round, individual players, or overall, as well as some other great details about the World Cup and its history and some of the players here, make sure to visit the World Cup homepage. You can find a link to that in the information box under your video window. I encourage you to check that out, get some insight. Some very cool stories here from some mother and son duos, a father and daughter. Very family oriented, a lot of players returning to this event for 2nd, 3rd, 13th year. So a lot of tradition. This tournament dates back to the 1960s. It's the 53rd World Cup. All right, there's also live scoring available, and that's been very helpful from here to be able to see what's happening down on either far end. So take a quick look at that, and then we'll get you the standings through 3 days here at the World Cup. So as we get toward the halfway point of our opening game here, let's go over the standings through 3 days. On top, averaging nearly 228, Jenny Wegner of Sweden. Her 18-game total, 4,096, 4096. She leads Rebecca Whiting of Australia, who is at 3970. Vanessa Timter of Germany, 39.42. Rocio Restrepo, 39.27. She's from Colombia. Mexico's Maribel Orozco, 38.65. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 38.51. Crystalline Tabora of the Philippines, 38.49. Erin McCarthy, Team USA, 38.47. Edith Quintanilla here in our featured pair, up on lane 17 right now. She is 9th at 37.43. Sanna Pasanen of Finland is 10th at 37.42. Vandertol, who's joining us this game, great shot there. She is 11th, so just outside the top 10. It's a pretty drop off from 10th to 11th, about 90 pins. And the important number right now is 24th place. That is the goal here. 54 players fighting for a spot in the top 24. The 24th spot right now is Ingrid Julia of Catalonia, 34.41, averaging 191.17, 34.41. So just a couple pins back, 34.25. Bach Jespers of Belgium, Melania Rossi, 34.01. She's 40 pins out. And then with a little more work to do, 27th place, Charlene Lim of Singapore, trying to make it 2 consecutive World Cups here at Bowl 300 for Singapore. She's definitely got some work to do. So we'll keep you updated game by game, let you know who's in and who's out. And if you have any questions again along the way, please let us know. We're here for you. Rebecca Whiting yesterday afternoon shot 278, 289 her first 2 games, 770 for her first 3. Made a huge move, slowed down a little bit, but got herself into 2nd place. Excellent start, down on 7 and 8 for England's Lorna Scott. Started with 3 in a row, spare in the 4th, and now a 4-bagger heading into the 9th. She is 19th coming into today, so a little bit of cushion certainly would be very helpful at this point. Timter from Germany, bowling well, just to our right, 21 and 22. She also has a 7 out of 8 here in the opener. Jenny Wegner, same story, down on 25 and 6. 4-bagger, spare, 3-bagger. Not looking to give up that lead. Team USA's Aaron McCarthy down on 5 and 6. A little bit of a rough start, but strikes in frames 5 through 7. Goal right now, make the top 24. Goal after that, make the top 8, then make the top 4. But logically, the big goal, and they may not be thinking about it or talking about it, but is to distance yourself as far from 5th place as possible. That is it. So I think that would be getting a little bit greedy. you have to think confidently. You don't want to just think about sneaking into the top 24, because then you have a ton of work to do to get to the top 8. Every player, a little bit different mentality on how they attack things. But the ultimate goal, of course, is the same for everybody. That is to win the World Cup. All right, Vandertul bowling very well here in the first game of the day. She's in 11th place, just outside the top 10 right now. Foundation frame. Another great shot, mixes them up, and a 6 and a 10. Slide off the deck. So she'll get up in the 10th frame. With a chance at 268. Koshel, the left-hander as well. Trips the big 4. Young player from Russia. A lot of potential there. No doubt we'll see her again. Right now, Kushel 17th, averaging 199. So, well on her way. Takova. Should go back and see what her TV averages here at Bowl 300. Seems to really step it up every time she's on the live stream. Overall, 33rd, averaging 183. Seems to 200 plus every time she comes our way. All right, final frame on 17 and 18. Eliav doubles into 10th. One more here. Almost 185. Final score for her. Quintanilla. Got the first one. She can get to 194. She's looking pretty solid at 9th place right now. And then Vandertol on her way to the top 10 with this big performance here. She can close it out, 268. Final frame on 19 and 20. Petakova, 235 with 10 on the fill. Lamb doubles up, looking to 171. All right, Anna finishes 235. Lamb 169. Here's Cashel working on a double. 201 possible, goes high, 4-7. Vandertol, nice pickup there. 255 for the left-hander. Rescue for Levchuk. Final shot here for Maria. 179, and then we'll give our players a few minutes to make the move to the next pairs. And there you have it. Game 1 has concluded. 5 more to go here on the women's squad. Last day of qualifying at the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. My name is Matt Canizaro. I'll be here with you wire to wire, bringing you the best in the world from 68 countries here. Bowl 300 at Hermosillo, Mexico. We'll be right back with game number 2. game number 2 quickly underway here at Bowl 300, Bowl 300. We've got 8 players coming our way this time. Let's meet them. Start with lane 17 from Malaysia, CT Rahman. And from Luxembourg, Nora Tercy. Northern Ireland, we have Lauren Dugan. And the fan favorite from Mexico, Maribel Orozco. She is bowling very well this week. Well on her way to the top 24. And another day of the hometown fans getting to cheer her on. It's been fun to watch the excitement around her and Arturo Estrada. Both have bowled extremely well this week. On lanes 19 and 20 from Norway, Usa Jakobsen. And our leader, Jenny Wegner. She's from Sweden and the defending champion here at the World Cup. We also have Ivana Krajic of Croatia. And from Ethiopia, Zebene Barahane. This is game 2 of 6. So things moving along swiftly. We'll have the men coming up later today, scheduled for 5:30 Eastern, 3:30 here in Hermosillo. Standings updated through 19 games. Leading now by 145 pins. Jenny Wegner still. And ironically, last year, on her way to the title, she was never any higher than 4th place. First round, she was 19th, 8th, 4th, 4th, 4th after the top 24. And then she qualified 4th for the semifinals before defeating number 1 seed Bernice Lim in the semifinals, and then Daniel McEwen in the championship match for the World Cup. So we'll get some thoughts from Jenny. Should she hold on her run this year, leading essentially from game number 2 on after the 300, and the only one of the events. Here's a little known fact about Jenny Wegner. She's a kindergarten teacher back home in Sweden. She's a world-class bowler and kindergarten teacher. How about that? Her last game was 259, so she's been schooling the rest of the field here at the World Cup all week long. And starting with a double here, looking to continue that pace. No doubt. Pull away from the field here. Vanessa Timter of Germany, 2nd. Her total 42.10. Jenny's at 43.55, averaging more than 229. Rebecca Whiting, 3rd at 41.50. Rocio Restrepo of Colombia, 41.31. Maribel Orozco, 40.85. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 40.69. Crisalyn Tabora from the Philippines, 40.57. Erin McCarthy of Team USA, 8th, 40.48. Ida Quintanilla of El Salvador, 9th at 39.35. And Sanna Pasanen of Finland, 39-25. There's your top 10. Vandertol, somehow, after still 11th after shooting 255. So just close the gap though. Only 19 pins out of the top 10. Two-time champion Almiguera, 13th, hanging in there. England's Lorna Scott, 15th. So up a couple places. And the number, Charlene Lim. How about her? Off to a start this morning, huh? 247 in the opening game. She jumps back into 24th place, averaging 190.68, or total 36.23. She is 9 pins ahead of Ingrid Julia Catalonia. So Charlene Lim is your number right now. Remember, folks, if you want to see some cool things from the World Cup, Dominic Gall behind the scenes here on the QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup Facebook page. And more than just scores and notes, insight, candid pictures, videos, Facebook Lives. It's been hard at work this week, so make sure to find that page and like it, follow it. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on some really cool things the rest of the way, as we just have a few days left here at Bowl 300. This is our final day of qualifying. So we're going to be saying goodbye to some of our players, at least from a competition standpoint. Halfway through now, game number 2, the fight for the top 24. Jenny Wegner leading the way, staring down the 7-10 now on lane 19. She leads by 145 pins. No threat for her not to make the top 24. Next goal up, make the top 8 for round robin match play. Everybody who makes the top 8 gets a cool jersey as well. Remember an old commercial back in the day? I did it for the jersey. Very cool souvenir. And then, of course, once you make the top 8, the goal is to make the semifinals. We'll have that on Saturday, live from Bowl 300 here on lanes 19 and 20. Also, we'll be live on local TV, 2.5-hour show. We'll have the women up first. One semifinal, then the other. 2 winners will meet for the title trophy presentation. And then the men will do their thing here. Same pair. Great effort there on 20 by Barahanu on the 6-7-10. So we'll have a little different view here on the live stream tomorrow for the round of 24 and 8. We're going to shift a pair over to the left. So we'll have 15, 16, 17, and 18. That'll be the split between the men and the women. So we'll have the whole house being used starting tomorrow, lanes 1 through 32. And the women, I believe, will start the day on lanes 1 through 16. The men, 17 through 32. And then they will flip-flop for the top 8 round robin. Back-to-back trouble for Wegner. That shot didn't look that bad. With the result, 4-7-10. CT Raman doing cool things over on 18. Terrific shot. We saw CT earlier in the year become the first Malaysian player to win a title on the Professional Women's Bowling Association Tour. Defeated her teammate Lee Jane Sen, who came back the very next week and claimed a title of her own. So great success for the Malaysian players in the United States this year, following in the footsteps of Shalin Zulkifli, who is back in action this year and bowling very well around the world. I believe she's at the World Series of Bowling in Reno this week. Had stepped away for a little while, but now back in the spotlight. A very talented group there from Malaysia. Looking forward to seeing them at the World Championships coming up at the end of the month. Dozens of countries represented will be in Las Vegas, South Point Bowling Plaza. The world's best bowling for gold medals in singles, doubles, trios, team, all events, and masters competition. We'll have that starting around November 24th. We'll go into the first couple of days of December. We'll have coverage for you on bowl.com and all USBC social media channels. Sport of Bowling USBC on Facebook and at USBC on Twitter. Roscoe. Very nice shot there. The crowd a little bit lighter here today. Still a work day. Stands seem to fill up at the end of the day. Men's squad coming up at 3:30 local time. No doubt by the end of that, big crowd will be here to cheer for the local standout, Arturo Estrada, who led the event up until the last game of round 3. He struggled and actually dropped from 1st to 4th place. On the men's side, England's Ray Teese setting the pace. Had a huge block yesterday, 1460. He's improved each block and shot the lights out yesterday to go from 10th place to the lead. So we'll see if he can hang on. We should have Jacob Butcha from Team USA coming on to chat with us sometime during this block, hopefully. Right now we're at game number 2, and that's quickly coming to an end, so we'll have 4 games to go, and then we'll know who our top 24 qualifiers will be on the women's side. Jacobson can't get the 10 to go, and Wiggles won't go down. Take a look at the live scoring, see what's happening the rest of the way. If you'd like to do that as well, again, visit the World Cup homepage. The link is in your information box below your video window. Live scoring, very helpful. Following the action. One pair to our right, Switzerland and Brazil. Hugen and Martin bowling very well here. Game number 2. This is really about all the excitement. This game across the house. right, final frame on 19 and 20. Marjanovic. Great effort here in game 2. Should be in the 240s. All right, 245, the final number for Ivana. She's in 37th place, so we need a few more of those. She's going to make a move here on the final day of qualifying. 149 for Ethiopia's Berahanu. Now Wegner can get into 230s one more time. Jakobsen 216 is the max number. And we got the 10th frame going on 17 and 18 as well. Durfee can get to 175. She's in 40th place. Dugan, max score 193. She's in 39th place. Right, Wegner, final shot coming up. Doubled up into 10th, so 235 is her max number. Orozco, trouble in the 10th on lane 17. 4, 6, 7. She'll take the 2. 185, so a little bit of trouble there, but she's still pretty solid in the top 24. That will do it for game number 2. Players on the move. Game 3 coming up in just a few minutes. This is Matt Cannizzaro live at the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. We'll be right back with game number 3. Thanks for tuning in. Hi everybody, we are back for game number 3. Let's see who we've got joining us here on our featured pair 17 through 20 on lane 17 from the Bahamas, Uchena Iomadelva. From Team USA, Aaron McCarthy. From Tunisia, again half of the husband and wife tandem here at the World Cup, Hayla Mizzou. And final player from Colombia, Rocio Restrepo. On 19 and 20, up on 19 right now. Another husband and wife duo from Wales. This is Louise Roberts. Also have Ingrid Julia from Catalonia. From New Caledonia, Lauren Dervelino. And from Finland, Sanna Passinen. I have updated standings for you very shortly. Right now you're watching game 3 of 6. So we're nearing the halfway point here of our final block of qualifying. 54 ladies. Only 24 will advance to tomorrow's 8-game round. Who will it be? Tell all your friends, tune in, watch your favorite players. Let's get those numbers up. And again, if you're enjoying the broadcast this week, you like seeing coverage of the World Cup and would like to see it again in 2018, please give us a thumbs up there below your video window and help the cause. Think of it as a donation to those above who decide if we'll be back or not. So if you like it, thank you. If you don't like it, thank you for tuning in anyway. We appreciate the support. So do the players. Very special to be here and to know that those back in their home countries are supportive. Means a ton. So thank you. Up in the standings now, Jenny Wegner really pulling away here, starting the day with 259 and 232, extending her lead now over the field to nearly 200 pins. Right now she is 777 pins ahead of 24th place. Second place, Vanessa Timter of Germany. She's at 43.98. Wegner was at 45.87. So 45.87, 43.98. Rebecca Whiting of Australia, 4.352. Restrepo, Colombia, 4.321. Roscoe of Mexico, 42.70. Erin McCarthy up to 6th place now, 42.59. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 42.54. Crystal Lynn Tabor of the Philippines, 42.46. Passanen, 41.49. Quintanilla of El Salvador, 41.10. Rounds out your top 10. Vandertol still in 11th place, but creeping up on 10th. And the cut number after 2 games today, Han Chan of Hong Kong, 38.10. So we have a tie for 23rd place. Melania Rossi and Chan at 38.10. But Stefanova of Bulgaria is at 38.06, 4 pins out. Karina Hugen of Switzerland making her move. She is 10 pins out at 3,800. So pretty tight here, all the way down. Only 100 pins difference between 24th and 32nd right now. Lauren Gervolino still in this thing with 4 games to go. So let's see who's going to step up here as it gets down to the wire. So Pasadena starts with the front four here, and then disaster in the fifth. All right, they're gonna do a score correction real quick for Sana, and then we will have her up for her spare attempts. Again, Sana in ninth place right now. So, not in too much danger of falling out of the top 24. So maybe time to start looking at the next goal. Solidify a place in the top 8. All right, halfway point passed here in game number 3. Nice effort here from Ingrid Julia. She has fallen out of the top 24. 27 pins out right now, but doing a 4-bagger here. Trying to jump her way back in. And an oops there for Julia. On the 4-bagger, that one goes in the gutter. So momentum slowed now. Giving herself a little more work to do. Julia makes the spare. We saw some big scores the last couple games. Things seem to be slowing down a little bit here in game 3. Great shot there by Sana on lane 20 for 3 in a row. 255 max score after the hot start. Back on track. We'll get ready for the 10th frame. Ingrid and Julia fighting for her spot in the top 24. About to get up on lane 20. Pairs to our right, Maribela Roscoe. She's got 7 out of the first 8. It's like a single pin miss in the 3rd frame. Right. Another miscue for Julia in the 10th, finishes with 202. Rivelino can get to 191. Louise Roberts trying to finish strong. 192 max for her. Great shot. Roscoe continuing to strike. She's trying to get into the 260s this game. .206 this game for Jenny Wegner. She had opened in the 10th. She got the first hit, so not disastrous. 206, great score though. Australia's Rebecca Whiting struggling a little bit compared to our left. Germany's Tempter can get to 204, so no ground loss there for Jenny. Folks, this is game 3 of our 6-game block. Final day of qualifying here at the World Cup for the ladies. Men coming up this afternoon. So the last pushes. Top 24 is where you need to be at the end of the day today. Final frames coming up here on 17 and 18. Aaron McCarthy stepping up on 18, looking for 3 in a row and a big finish here in game 3. We'll have the second half of today's qualifying round coming up in just a few minutes. So 3 more games until we know our top 24. And McCarthy goes high, almost gets a break, leaves the 4-7. Some frustration let out there. We've also got Team USA's Jacob Buttriff here. He might jump in for a game or two coming up in the back half of this qualifying round, so stay tuned. We'll meet our players for game number 4 coming up in just a few minutes. So final frames underway. Hermosillo Restrepo, Aaron McCarthy, and company doing their thing on 17 and 18. We'll be right back with game number 4. You're watching continued coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup here at Bowl 300 in Mexico. All right, folks, we are back now with our 4th game of this final qualifying round for the ladies here at the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup. My name is Matt Canizaro, and we'll be here all week long, wire to wire, but right now we have a special guest, somebody who actually knows what he's talking about. It is the left-hander from the United States, Team USA's Jacob Butchup. Sir, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, Matt. It's a pleasure to be out here for a first international experience, and just by watching all the other countries and seeing all the unique styles, I could definitely say that this is definitely a well worth first-time experience.
All right, well, let's meet our players here for our 4th game of the day. Only 3 games left to fight for a spot in the top 24. On lanes 17 and 18, we have a chat room favorite, Lorna Scott, 18 years old from England. Got to step up on lane 17. She's making a nice run today. Up on lane 18 right now, starting with a double. We have Turkey's Adela Mishalov. So we'll see where these players fall in the standings here in just a few minutes. And from Hong Kong, we have Han Chan. And finally from Scotland, Jackie McCall. Over on 19 and 20 from Estonia, we have Tia Lige. From Ecuador, Nicole Andrea Riano Sanchez. And from Portugal is Cristina Suarez. And finally from Canada, Miranda Panis. So those are our 8 players here. Again, just 3 games left to fight their way into the top 24. Standings coming in just a minute. We're joined by Jacob Butchup, and first time out of the United States. Got the passport all squared away, got the stamp, but technically only 348 miles from home, but it still counts, right?
Yeah, just the first journey out of the country. I know it's only, driving distance for me, but definitely get to see another face of the whole world. So.
All right, so your kind of coming out party a couple of years ago was in Mexico. It was a different Mexico. It was New Mexico.
New Mexico.
In Albuquerque, you won the New Mexico Open. First time really in the national spotlight and getting some attention that way. And then since then, it's been a whirlwind for you. 13 PBA regional titles, 2 national titles. You won the Team USA trials in January. That's how you got your spot here at the World Cup. You've been selected for the World Championships, and of course, a lot of talk out there about your unique double-jointed delivery. Also, nearly won an all-events title at the USBC Open Championship. So, definitely, as they say, not a flash in the pan. But can you tell us just about the last few years and what it's been like since that New Mexico Open?
I could definitely say that, New Mexico Open, I can honestly tell you, I was just going out there for a, first big tournament experience. When you're on the top of the leaderboard after qualifying in Casters round, you would never expect to go out there and just make the best run you possibly can for a tournament. And when I got to the title match against Frankie Lavoie, sorry. When I got to the title match against Frankie Lavoie, I could definitely say the nerves kind of kicked in a little bit, because that's the first time I've ever been in a, big pressure situation, and lost the first match. I know I still had 2 games to work with, so I kind of just stepped it up after losing to him and put up two very big games, and ever since then it's just a matter of being able to compete with the big boys. Had a very successful World Series, made a TV show, had a record-breaking year with 9 regionals, 2 national titles in there as well, and ever since then I've just kind of taken every win with a learning experience.
So how does somebody have a record-breaking year like that? It's unbelievable. 9 regional titles in 1 season. Obviously, you bowl a lot. There's a lot of regionals. You do some driving. You get to the West region, the Northwest region a little bit. But to find that kind of success consistently on a variety of oil patterns, just how do you manage to go out there and just always seem to be in the mix, whether you're winning or around the top 4?
Well, like you go out there, and that's what basically for me practice is all about. Testing, versatility skills and trying to see what you can do to compete against some of the best in the world, because you're seeing the top guys every tournament you go to pretty much. I'm seeing Jesper Svensson, Frankie Lavoie, even like Bill O'Neill, Jason Belmonte. I'm seeing all these guys, and they're on the top of the list every tournament you go to. It's because they're able to, do certain tricks to their game. They go out and practice. They do everything they can to make sure that they're in fit shape for every tournament. And so for me, it's just a matter of getting out there practicing, testing certain waters that I think I would never do, but I end up using them at some point in the tournament. So for me, it's just a matter of practicing and, trying to stay fit to where you can be able to compete with those guys.
All right, well, you're just 23 years old and already accomplished more in 2 or 3 years than most people even dream of in a career. And now the success just seems to continue. You're coming off of a pretty incredible week. And we'll preface that with the fact that just a few months ago, you had a fractured finger. So found out that you weren't going to be bowling for a while after all of this success. Actually missed the World Games in Poland, which would have been your debut for Team USA and your first trip out of the U.S. So it had to be a disappointing discovery there. But at the same time, you said that gave you a chance to really learn more about yourself, your game, and the sport. Can you describe what it was like coming back from that injury, knowing that you couldn't bowl, but you still had these big events coming up?
Well, for me, I feel like the finger injury was actually, I think, one thing I needed, because of the fact that the last couple months before I fractured my finger, I was, battling a couple of things with bowling. I wasn't feeling very comfortable. And then I go out there and find out that I fractured my finger bowling. And so once I figured that out, I kind of viewed it as, take this as a learning, also as a learning experience, just kind of reevaluate a little bit. And so ever since I came back from the injury, I was able to work on a couple things, changed a couple of fits, was able to go out there and finished second at a local regional, actually hosted by Josh Blanchard, and finished second to a great buddy of mine, collegiately, Russ Soviet. And so I feel like since then, it's just a matter of, trying to keep yourself in the loop, like just not trying to hurt yourself again, I would say. And so since then, I've been able to take way better care of myself. I've been watching what I've been eating, what I've been doing. And so since then, it's just, I feel like I'm back with the successful run I was in the previous year.
All right, folks, we're watching the back half of qualifying today for the women here at the World Cup. My name is Matt Canizaro, and we're joined by Jacob Buttriff of the United States. He'll be bowling live here on BowlTV coming up this afternoon at 5:30 Eastern. Final round for the men. After today, we'll cut the field down from 54 women and 64 men to the top 24 in each category for the exciting round of 24 tomorrow. All of that will be live on BowlTV, of course. And right now, while we have Jacob's attention, a lot of folks have seen your unique delivery, being double jointed, and ask, does it hurt? Can he get hurt? Hearing that you had a fractured finger, people would suggest maybe that, because of that delivery or possibly could worse happen. So maybe you can describe your delivery, how you discovered that you can do these tricks, and does it hurt at all when you do it? Do you fear that that there's some possibilities in that department?
Well, definitely the injury that I sustained back in July, it had nothing to do with my wrist. It was a complete fracture at the first knuckle of my bowling hand, and I do go to the second knuckle on my bowling hand. So definitely an injury that was sustained from me bowling too much. I think that's why I had to take the month off, in my opinion. But also with my wrist, I just have a trick that I'm able to roll my wrist up. being able to create as much power as I can, like looking like a two-hander, but using one hand, and I use my thumb, so I'm able to just roll the ball back up on my wrist and just create as much power as I can, but still having the accuracy with a person that has their thumb in the ball.
Okay. So it looks like it hurts from back here, but everything feels good.
Definitely, yeah. Everybody looks at it and they said that they couldn't even try that if they attempted to. For me, I feel like everybody else that's going out there throwing a bowling ball. Like, for me, it doesn't feel like any pain. And from recent talks from everybody, as long as I can keep my wrist healthy, I have at least another 15 years, 20 years in me.
All right. Well, again, just 23 years old and having quite a few years of success. And now coming back from the injury, picked up a pair of regional titles and then the run at the U.S. Open. Led the field by 600 pins over 56 games. So obviously the number of games, not an issue for you. And then coming almost immediately to Mexico for the World Cup, a couple practice days, and now another long format. I guess first things first, the U.S. Open, probably a roller coaster for you, an amazing week, so much confidence and emotion going into the TV show, and then really just one frame, one mishap, the difference in claiming that title. Rhino Page, tough competitor, picking up his first major title. But can you quickly just talk about that week and the feeling before the show, the feeling after the show, and then your confidence coming into the World Cup?
For that week, I was stepping in, and I talked with a lot of guys. I was saying that, I was feeling pretty comfortable even if I just made the top 24. I went the last 2 years, finishing Cash's round, didn't really make it too much of a notice to anybody. But for me, making the top 24 was a goal this year, and like New Mexico Open, for me, I just kind of went out there and bowled, and, you're going into match play second to one of the greatest all-time, Norm Duke. And Norm was definitely one of my favorite righties growing up watching. I loved watching him bowl just by his mellow attitude on the lanes and his passion, fiery attitude when he gets a strike to win a title. So going up there and bowling against him, it was definitely nerve-wracking, especially for first game of match play being at the U.S. Open. And you know what? Like, I just kind of for me, just maintaining clean games. If you split, just step off, just kind of relax and just go up there and make a better shot. And next thing you know, I'm just going up there, staying consistent with bowling. And I look at the leaderboard and I'm 600 pins ahead at the end of match play against some of the greatest. It's definitely an overwhelming feeling. And you know what? One game for me, like I said, Rhino even told me he had to bowl the best game of his life in order to beat me in that tournament. And hats off to Rhino. He's a great friend with me on and off the lanes, and I couldn't be any happier for him winning his first major.
All right, well, definitely sportsmanship award for today goes to Jacob Butchuff. Very cool to see that. We saw that on TV actually. In defeat, of course, you'll have your time, and it's just inspirational, I think, for the youngsters out there to see that graciousness. But now, from that to the World Cup, you have to shift gears pretty quickly, get home real quick, repack the suitcase, and then get back on the road. Does any of the feelings from that loss linger coming in, or how did you bounce back from that to really regain your confidence coming in here?
Well, like I said, there's definitely some frustration, at the end of it, because, you're going out there and you lead one of the most prestige tournaments of all time by a margin of 2 games. And, but I also viewed it as it's my first live TV show, and I definitely had some nerves going in there regardless of how I bowled for the week. And a lot of people have told me, like, when I threw the first 2 shots, they felt like I was cold as ice. For me, my legs were shaking. I was the nerves definitely kicked in. But, like we talk about, frustration. Like, for me, I had to get, it is frustrating, but you also have to view it as you have another tournament in 2 days. you have to click with a different mindset after that. I was definitely, you know, at a loss a little bit when I was flying back home. I only going home for 14 hours to only go back to Mexico the next day, but definitely with the help of a lot of friends back home, I was able to stop by where I bowl league, Brunswick Zone Mesa, on Thursday night, and with the help of Josh Blanchard and a lot of other friends, I got basically a big welcome home party, if that's what you call it. Like, basically he stops the whole league, and I go out there and everybody gives me a standing O, and I don't think I could have been any happier in my lifetime at a moment than when I was that Thursday night. Just having everybody, watch it, and I walked off like almost in tears of joy.
All right, well, today is Thursday, right? So the league will be gathered again. You'll be live on BowlTV. Perhaps they'll have it on at the bowling center and watching the final round of qualifying. And then there's the possibility of next Thursday walking into that bowling center with the World Cup. Now, there's still a long way to go. We're 18 games in. Final round coming up tonight. You've had some success, struggled, grinded a little bit early on the fresh, and then really put things together. And then yesterday was kind of the opposite of that. Can you talk about this week a little bit and what you're seeing here? A little different field, a different caliber of players perhaps, and maybe a little different lane condition situation than you're used to seeing recently. But can you talk about this week so far?
Well, definitely just by watching a handful. We were practicing, and I could tell you that my ball was hooking a lot more than what it was at the U.S. Open. And I would say it's an older lane surface, more or less for recreational, and lane topography has definitely been very tricky so far this week. And being able to follow a couple of lefties and seeing the read is definitely what has helped me a majority of this week. I had a couple of struggle games, but figuring it out as soon as I possibly could. Like any tournament you go to, if you're wanting to be on the top of the leaderboard, you have to click as soon as you possibly can. And being able to repeat shots is the biggest part of that. And if you're not going to be able to repeat shots, then it's going to be a struggle. I learned that yesterday, the second to last game of my block. Not being able to get a read from any lefties, had 70 in the fifth, and just kind of took guesses and kind of struggled towards the end. But I was able to regain, following a couple more, or seeing a couple lefties and getting a read off of that. Was able to shoot 230 the last game to save a block.
All right, so one block to go. You're in good position for the top 24. Different bowlers come in maybe with different goals. Some are looking at that loaded cash number. They want to get into the top 24. We talked to Ray Teese yesterday, who had a huge block, biggest of the week, to get to the top spot in the standings. And he put it in a little different perspective. He's thinking more, how far can he separate himself from fifth place at this point? Because you've got the top 24, then we'll go back down to the top 8, and then eventually the top 4. So where are you mentally coming into this week and right now?
Well, I started off the week, after the first block, I was sitting 12th. For me, it was just a matter of working with Coach Rod Ross, figuring out what I could do to get on the top of the leaderboard and trying to be able to make sure that it keeps me there for the rest of the week. And we were able to figure out a couple things, and right now I'm sitting 3rd overall. Talking like good friends with Ray Teese as well, and just being able to keep up with the strikes is the key this week. Getting my strikes early is the key for me. Shot very big the first 3 games, each block the last 2 days, and kind of grinded it out the last 3 games. Definitely with all the righties. For me, I've been able to have to stand super far right with my feet this week, and with the righties getting super far deep, it's definitely affecting the lefties transition a little bit too. So if I'm able to just go up there and kind of grind it out, put together a 3-bagger, spare, and shoot 220 after shooting big 3 games, then for me, it's already an accomplished goal for the day.
All right, so big day here at the World Cup, folks. You're watching Game 4 of 6 qualifying on the women's side. Quick rundown of the standings after 21 games. As we see Miranda Panis putting together a big game here for Canada. Just slowed her string with a 7-pin in the 9th frame. Leader still, Jenny Wegner of Sweden, 47.93, and she is nearly 200 pins ahead of Vanessa Timter of Germany, 4,600. Rebecca Whiting of Australia, 45.53. Rocio Restrepo, Colombia, 45.36. Maribel Orozco of Mexico, hometown crowd behind her, 45.34. CT Rahman of Malaysia, 44.78. Chrysalyn Tabora, Philippines, 44.69. Erin McCarthy of Team USA, we saw her last game here on BowlTV. She is 8th at 44.61. Sana Pasanen of Finland, 44.03. And rounding out the top 10, still hanging in there, Edith Quintanilla of El Salvador at 43.47. The number, though, the important number, is Marina Stefanova of Bulgaria at 39.89, 189.95 average. She is the cut number right now, 24th place. Ingrid Julia had an opportunity to have a big game here in front of the cameras and had an open frame in the 10th. So just outside the top 24 right now. She is 4 pins out, and the 2 pins behind her, Bach Jespers of Belgium and Charlene Lim. We've seen her up and down, in and out of the top 24 in 27th place, trying to work her way back in as well, but running out of time. Just 3 more games, including this one that's underway. We're in the 10th frame on lanes 19 and 20. Lige of Estonia is going to finish up first there on lane 19. Max score for her, 195. And on lane 20, it is Rihanna Sanchez, can get to 178. Panis, we just mentioned her having a big game here. Let's check her out in the standings. I know she is in the top 24, 14th right now. So a big game, of course, going to help considerably. A lot of chatter today, too, about Lorna Scott of England. She is 15th overall and working on a double now. So a foundation frame here coming up for her on lane 17. She still can get to the 220s after a split here halfway through game number 4.
If I want to point out, there's been a lot of young talent out here for sure. Lorna Scott only being 18. If I'm not mistaken, Bach Jespers from Belgium is only 20. We have a couple of youth, or a couple of guys. I'm not mistaken, his name is Artemis from Latvia. He's only 16 years old. So, definitely a lot of youth out here, and just shows the growing of the youth of our sport.
Well, sir, I feel that that many would consider you the youth of the sport as well at 23 years old, and despite looking at your resume, and then while we watch the final frames here of this game, you have another big event coming up. You get to go home for a couple days again, pack the suitcase, and then another international event a few hundred miles from home. You're going to Las Vegas for the World Bowling World Championships. And that team that has been selected for the United States, top to bottom, you have age and experience and some incredible technical knowledge in Chris Barnes and Tommy Jones. And then you have kind of the middle of the way in the career, Marshall Kent, still a young guy, but he's been to the World Championships, so he's got that experience. He was put in position back in 2014, in a big pressure moments, and he's able to deliver in those moments, and learning opportunity for him. And then 3 youngsters, rookies to the World Championships. Of course, you'll be there along with AJ Johnson and Chris Vi. So 3 clearly different styles of play. You're the left-hander, Chris Vi the two-hander, and AJ just the big-handed high-rev player. But going into that event knowing that the goal, I think, part of the goal is to give you guys the experience, but at the same time have guys like Barnes and TJ there to explain the event, help you understand what it is, what it means, how to handle it. It's different. It's a different world than you guys are used to. But can you talk about that event and what you guys have discussed as a group going into that tournament?
Well, one thing we had with Team USA camp is not only did I feel like it was like a coaching type experience for a week, but it was also building the chemistry with all the bowlers there. able to just sit down and, all of us making sure that we have the chemistry that we have going into this event. And I'm good friends with AJ Johnson. I'm good friends with Chris Vi. We're the rookies out there, and it's just a matter of proving that we can compete, even being the rookies. And then getting the experience from two of the greatest, Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes, to top it off with Marshall Kennett. I feel pretty confident going out there to compete for the World Championships in Vegas.
All right. Well, considering your history at South Point Bowling Plaza, also kind of at one point your hometown, Las Vegas. Can you just talk about how special it is, I guess, to be able to compete for the United States in your home country, in Las Vegas, in that venue where you obviously had some success over the few years it's been open?
Well, definitely, it's very comfort no matter where I go in Las Vegas. That's where I'm originally from. Moved to Arizona when I was 18, but grew up in Las Vegas, knew the bowling community very well, and then going back to Las Vegas to compete for the World Games, having that hometown crowd behind you, you feel like you're going out there and you just know that the comfort's right behind you, and it just makes you want to compete and bowl better at any time that someone is behind you and supporting you.
All right, we do know there's a strong bowling community there, Southern Nevada. No doubt folks are going to be making the trip over from Arizona, possibly New Mexico, other bowling fans. It's not often that you have the World Championships in your backyard. We had it in 2013, the combined World Championships in Henderson, Nevada. So nothing like the South Point Bowling Plaza, though, one-of-a-kind tournament facility. And then an opportunity, too, for other members of Team USA, young members, to come out and experience the event, see what it's all about. Do you have any idea how you're going to feel walking out during the team march when it's time for opening ceremonies? And can you even put it in perspective at this point what it means to be at the World Championships?
Well, definitely supporting my country and something I love to do. You can't ask for much more than that. And I can honestly tell you, just seeing it, going out there, and you're going to have the USA rooting for you. You don't want to disappoint no matter what you do. And so my goal out there is just to, prove who I really am, especially in a center that I've had most of my success in, and just making sure that I can compete with the rest of the, crew out there.
All right, folks. Expert insight from Jacob Buttriff of the United States, getting ready to bowl this afternoon here at the World Cup. We're watching the final frame here of game number 4 on the women's side, 4 of 6 for today. And then we're done with qualifying. But right now, Lorna Scott, 222, big game for England. We're going to watch our friends from Turkey, Scotland, and Hong Kong wrap things up here. So we've got about 5 minutes left before this game concludes. If you have any questions for Jacob, the left-hander from Team USA, he's making a run at the top of the leaderboard here on the men's side. He's going to go get ready to do that here shortly. But any questions, drop those in the chat room. He'll answer those for you. And then we'll get ready for game number 5. And look forward to seeing who our top 24 will be here on the women's side.
Marshall Morrison, big shout out, big friend of mine in Texas. He says Jacob Buttercup is my hero. Thank you, Marshall. Definitely going to let you know the next time I'm out in Texas. So.
All right, so while we wait for those questions, if any do roll in, a little history lesson for you, Jacob. When you were a wee tyke back in 2008, sorry, last time we were here at Bowl 300 in Hermosillo, the World Cup was claimed by the United States. Derek Oath, somebody who you may have seen in your travels perhaps, and now looking to reclaim that for the USA and bring that home to Arizona. What would that mean to you to find the same success and be able to hoist that cup here?
Just making sure, if I were to host that, just going out there and winning something for Team USA, that would, I don't think there would be anything more that I could ever ask for, Like I said before, representing your country and something that you love to do, just being part of the red, white, and blue is definitely a huge opportunity. And if I were to, say, win the World Cup, I would definitely, the emotions would definitely kick in, especially with, all the success from the U.S. Open and frustrating loss, I feel like emotions would definitely overcome that big win.
All right, well, a big win here on our featured pair. Some nice games. Lauren Scott, 222. Mishailov of Turkey, 230. And now 206 for McCall of Scotland. And Chan, 195 from Hong Kong. That's going to do it for this game. Question in the chat. We're talking Arsenal. And Jacob again with his unique release and drilling, fitting, conventional style. We'll let you talk about what you have in the bag this week.
Well, definitely everybody knows urethane's been my 8 game, always has been. And this week I've actually had to get deep enough to where I also had a Columbia 300 spoiler and a track Mako attack in my arsenal this week. A couple of mid-performance reactive balls, and just to be able to get through the front part of the lane, balls hooking super early. Urethane already is the tendency to do that. So for me, I was able to throw those to get a little bit more clearance down lane and have a more continuous back end.
All right, now you guys have the chance after each day to adjust equipment. Something worked well, didn't work well. A chance to kind of re-strategize for the next day. What have you guys done this week? Again, we knew you started off a little bit slow the first day, and then the second half of the block worked out well for you. Yesterday, complete opposite. A huge start, and then struggled a little bit later. But what do you guys do arsenal-wise to stay ready?
Well, I feel like the first day I just hit my bowling balls with way too much surface, especially with how much they've been hooking so far this week. And I started off pretty slow. I was able to move pretty deep the last couple of games the first day to bail it out. And then taking off the surface from a majority of my bowling balls the last 2 days have been the trick. Just going out there and trying not to put too much hand. My ball's already hooking as early as it possibly can, so trying to avoid hitting it too much has been the key so far this week.
All right, folks, there you have it. Don't see too many questions coming in, so I will let Jacob go get ready for his next block. That'll be coming up at 3:30 local time, 5:30 Eastern. Final 6 games for the men. Right now, Jacob's going to join Team USA head coach Rod Ross and Aaron McCarthy and cheer her on through the final 2 games here of qualifying on the women's side. We're going to do the same here on our featured pairs. Jacob, before you go, any advice for the next generation, the youngsters? Pretty soon, you're going to be the Chris Barnes. You're going to be the veteran leading the new guys into the World Championships and out there on the PBA Tour. But any advice for those up-and-comers?
One shot at a time. Make your spares. Don't get frustrated.
And there you have it. Short and sweet from Jacob Buttriff of Team USA. Hopefully you'll catch him the rest of the week here at the World Cup and nearby in Las Vegas for the World Championships coming up at the end of November and into early December. Jacob, best of luck today, the rest of the way here, and of course at the Worlds in Las Vegas.
Thank you, Matt.
Right, some great insight there from the left-hander from Team USA. First time out of the United States, and he gets to compete at the World Cup. It's an individual event, but he is representing all of Team USA and all of the USA. And then we'll segue, have a few days at home. We'll get home on November 12th. And 10 days later, we're going to head to Las Vegas for the World Championships. All of that and more details will be available on bowl.com and, of course, on the official USBC Facebook page. The Sport of Bowling USBC. Great pickup on lane 20 for Bach Jespers, trying to make her way into the top 24. She's been hanging around the number all week long. 2 games left to get there. Who is going to step up here in the final minutes? Remember, also, folks, subscribe to BowlTV. We've got a lot coming down the line. We're going to pay a little more attention to BowlTV in the coming months and get some more great video content out there. We have something at USBC called The Core. A lot of great content there. You can see some of that recently posted on BowlTV. Of course, all of the week's action from the World Cup here in Mexico. And so many more great videos, a lot more coming your way. So subscribe to the channel and make sure you don't miss any of that great content. As well as for today's broadcast, if you're enjoying yourself, give us a thumbs up. Let us know, and let the folks here at the World Cup know that you're enjoying the coverage and seeing the event live on BowlTV, and hopefully we'll be back with you for 2018. All right, so with that said, let's meet our players here for game number 5, final day of qualifying. Some we may be seeing for the last time this year, and some just getting warmed up for the round of 24 coming up tomorrow. So stepping up now on lane 17. She's been chasing the lead all week long, and I don't know that she's fallen out of the top 3 or 4 since qualifying started. It is Vanessa Timter of Germany, and joining her on this pair from Bulgaria, Marina Stefanova. And from Poland, we have Marta Litka. 3 bowlers on 17 and 18, and over on 19 and 20. We already mentioned Bach Jespers of Belgium, fighting for her spot in the top 24. From Hungary, we have Charlotte Dostaj from Slovenia. We have Lydia Zalatel, our final player from the Philippines, bowling great this week. Really fun to watch her. Crisalyn Tabora. And she also has been hanging around the top 5 all week long. So we will see her and Timter for sure in the 24 tomorrow. Now let's get a standings update while we have an opportunity. Jenny Wegner continuing to lead by nearly 200 pins. Shot 213 last game, and Timter, the one chasing her. Timter had 214. But Wegner atop the standings from Sweden, the defending champion, looking to become the 4th woman to win this event in back-to-back years. Her total for 22 games, 5,006. Timter in 2nd place at 48.14. Rocio Restrepo of Colombia, 47.94. Maribel Orozco, hometown hero, she is at 47.29. Rebecca Whiting of Australia, 5th, 47.05. Erin McCarthy of the United States back up to 6th place at 46.90. Looking at Erin's scores for today, 229 last game to get her back into 6th place. 7th, 14 pins back, CD Rahman of Malaysia, 46.76. Tabora of the Philippines, we mentioned her hanging around the top 5 all week. She is 8th right now, 46.71. In 9th place, Sanna Pasanen, Finland, 45.97. 10th place, Edith Quintanilla, El Salvador, 45.40. And Ghislaine Vandertol, 11th. She has been there locked in all day. She is at 45.25. The all-important number, though, 24th place with 2 games to go. 41.84, a 190.18 average. It is Jespers of Belgium. So big opportunity for her here to hold that spot, move up a couple places even. She is 3 pins ahead of Melanie Rossi of Italy, and only 14 pins ahead of Stefanova of Bulgaria. So Marina struggling here in game number 5. You see her on 17 and 18. Charlene Lim close behind as well. Ingrid Julia has been in the mix all day long. But right now, Bach is the player to beat. She is 3 pins behind 23rd place. That is Karina Hugen of Switzerland. So a lot of leapfrogging happening here. We saw Adila Mishalov of Turkey shoot 230 on our featured pair last game. She's up to 20th place and trying to hang on there as well. So could get interesting here over the next game and a half or so. Regardless, we will have the final numbers for you and a recap coming up later tonight on bowl.com. But if you want to follow things, go to the World Cup homepage. There's a link in the information box right below your video window. A lot of great information there for you. Good question. What will be the cut? Well, that number has been pretty consistent. Average-wise, between 189 and 190 all week long. So I wouldn't expect that to change too much. It's just a matter of who is going to be in that position. And on the men's side, being plus is a must here at the World Cup this year. So I expect that number to be right around even, if not a little bit higher as things get tense in the final games. These players competing on a 41-foot oil pattern this year, using QubicaAMF's Utopia oil. Pattern put out fresh for every block, with 1 men's squad, 1 women's squad, 6 games each. A few more players per pair, and of course the extra game compared to last year when they only bowled 5 game blocks. So just a little bit more volume this year to keep up with the extra traffic. And tipped her here on lane 18, off to a good start. First 4 before the flat 10 on lane 18. So she again is bowling very well this week, fighting for the lead and trailing Jenny Wagner. Definitely a lock for the top 24. Down on 21 and 22, just one player to our right, Melania Rossi. Just outside the top 24, spare 4-bagger to start here at game 23 on the week. This is big opportunity for her. She is 25th, 3 pins out of the number. Jackpot Monster asking some good questions in the chat room. Who do I think will make it to the finals? I don't want to play any favorites, but there's a few standout players here bowling very well this week. They continue to do so. Kind of gotta like their chances. Jenny Wagner, the defending champ, very motivated. Tempter going very well here, trying to catch her. Tabora, or the Philippines, having a great week. It'd be nice to have a cool breakout story, perhaps. Erin McCarthy coming back from a big injury at the U.S. Women's Open. So to see her go out there and cap off her recovery with a victory would be neat as well. Some young players with some opportunities here. So I think I'm more cheering for the storylines than a particular player. Just everybody's got a really cool story and looking forward to telling those. But on paper, of course, you have your favorites and probably had those favorites coming into the week as well. Just looking at players like Rocio Restrepo that have accomplished so much across the world. Hard not to have them on your list of favorites for the event. Ben Orland checking back in as well. Welcome. School is out. A lot of great bowling coming up the rest of the day. The men coming up at 3:30 here in Hermosillo. It's 5:30 Eastern. 6 games for them. Good question from Brian. Do they strip the back ends when they oil? Without talking to our lane gentlemen, I would expect the entire lane gets cleaned and the pattern reapplied for each block. That's generally the practice nowadays, as they do run the machine all the way through to the pin deck. So we have our fight for the top 24. Tempter, great shot. She's got 7 and 8. No worries for her on making 24. Bach Jespers here on lane 19. She is the number coming into this game. But a pair to the right, Melania Rossi, who's only 3 pins back, bowling very well. She went spare 5-bagger and now working on an 8-pin. Possibly you can see that there on the right side of your screen. So Bach needs to keep this string going. She's got 2 in a row, looking for 3. And the 10 won't cooperate. Rossi definitely going to go around Bach, but of course anything can happen to the players ahead of her as well, or behind. So a little bit of drama But either way, the start to this game through the first 7 frames for Rossi, very important and very much needed. All right, one more game coming up after this, and then we'll know our top 24 for the next round. Stefanova was in the mix, struggling here. Game 5 today. Bowl 300, Bowl 300, 32 lane center. We're using lanes 3 through 30 for qualifying, and then tomorrow, once we have our 24 players on each side, we're going to use the whole house. So 1 through 32 will be used tomorrow. Start the day with the women on 1 through 16, and the men will be on 17 to 32. Game complete for Lidka of Poland. 165, 157 for Stefanova. And now Timter going to close it out. She can get to 279. So big effort here. Game 5 today. Looking to pick up some pins on Jenny Wegner. And the light mixer. Gets the 7 and the 8 to go. And that shot for Tempter light again, but a little too light. Leaves the 2-4-5. She'll be in the 260s though. Nice little crowd on hand for the final couple games of women's qualifying here at the World Cup. If you like what you've seen, remember to subscribe to BowlTV so you can see everything else we have coming up. And remember, give us a thumbs up. See if we can't get to 100 before we're done here with our final women's block of qualifying. Big shot for Jespers, and she delivers. 3 in a row. Going into the 10th frame. Trying to hold on to her spot in the top 24. Let's catch now the final frame of game number 5. Zeletel of Slovenia gonna wrap things up here on lane 19. And Dolstai of Hungary gonna finish strong here. 217 possible. Got the first one in the 10th already. One more for the left-hander from Hungary. So 2 teens it is. So the battle for that 24 spot right now, Rossi to our right. She can shoot 226. Actually 236. She came into this game 3 pins out behind Bach Jespers. Charlotte Dostai of Hungary. She's 17th and shoots 217. Big 10th frame for Jespers. Gets the first one. Trying to hold off Rossi. Stellar back half of the game for Bach right now. Rossi's field ball. There she is on lane 21. She gets 9, so 235. Bach can get to 234. And so she will maintain her place just ahead of Rossi. Anything less than a strike here, Rossi goes around her. Stefanova struggled. She was behind Rossi. Big shot. Team Belgium. And she delivers. She's got 3 pins to work with. Rossi shot 235. Jespers can get to 234, so she'll give 1 pin back. Still could be 2 pins ahead going into the final game. Good effort here also from Tabora once again. 212 with a strike on the fill. Final game of women's qualifying coming up in just a few minutes. And we'll know our top 24. And Jespers delivers 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in a row to finish. Game number 5. Hold off the charging Melania Rossi. And that'll do it for game number 5. Final game coming up in just a few minutes. We'll have that for you here live on BowlTV. Coverage of the 2017 QubicaAMF Bowling World Cup here at Bowl 300 in Hermosillo, Mexico. We'll be right back. right, final game underway. Our players have hit the featured pairs. Let's meet them and potentially say goodbye to them for another year. 17 and 18 this game from Macau, China. Julia Lamb from Switzerland. Karina Hugen, Brazil. Stephanie Martins, and from the Ukraine, Alexandra Levchuk. Over on 19 and 20 from Israel, Adva Eliov. From Latvia, Veronica Hudyakova. From Spain, Raquel Mir Cuevas. And from the Netherlands again, we have Ghislaine van der Tol. And more importantly, take a look at the standings. Could have some drama. Your leader, Jenny Wegner, 52-32. Vanessa Timter, second at 50-80. We're still waiting for some scores to report in, so we'll go ahead and hold off on the update for Una Momento. This is the final game of qualifying coming up, and again, a little bit of drama there at the bottom of the standings. We'll wait until we get 100% of the scores before we give those details. And there we go. Okay. Wagner, 52-32. Vanessa Timter of Germany, 50-80. Rocio Restrepo, 50-32. 200 pins behind our leader. And 100 pins back from there. Fourth place, CT Raman of Malaysia, 49-32. Maribel Orozco of Mexico, 49-16. Erin McCarthy of the United States, 49-03. Rebecca Whiting, 7th of Australia, 4900. Chrysalyn Tabora, 48-83. And then a bit of a drop-off, Sanna Pasanen, 4800 from Finland. She is 9th. And Edith Quintanilla holding on to that 10th spot from El Salvador, 47-27. Miranda Panis of Canada up to 11th place. Last three games, triplicate, 234, 234, 234. What a day for Miranda. So up to 11th place. Van der Tol still in the top 24. She is 13th. Stephanie Martins here in our featured pair, hanging on. She is 21st right now. So it looks like we have 6 professional women's bowling association members in the field, all 6 in the top 24 right now. The number you guys are waiting for, Melania Rossi. Melania Rossi of Italy. She is the number at 44-16. Bach Jespers 2 pins ahead of her in 23rd place at 44-18. Han Chan of Hong Kong is 22nd at 44-22. Then a huge drop between 21st and 22nd. So 116 pins between 21st and 22nd place. So I feel Stephanie Martins in 21st place is comfortable right now. She is 116 pins ahead of 22nd place. But the ones you want to look at now are the ones just outside the number. We've got Karina Hugen of Switzerland here on our featured pair. And there's some separation there between 24th and 5th. She's at 43.60. So 56 pins out of the number. And then Charlene Lim, 57 pins out. And then again, another drop off. Julia, 88 pins out. Stefanova, 89 pins out. Jackie McCall, 99 pins out. So for Hugen and Lim, gonna have some work to do here to get into the cut. But I feel the top 21 are pretty solid right now with one game to go. So Jenny Wegner leading by 150. So barring disaster, Jenny Wegner will be our leader going into the round of 24. right, final game nearing this halfway point. 24 games in. And we are getting ready to make our cut to the top 24. That round coming up tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. (9 a.m. local time here in Mexico. All right, so looking back one more time at our standings. A little more dramatic game 5, but 23rd place right now. Actually, between 22nd to 24th. Only difference of 6 pins. So, Hong Kong's Han Chan, 44-22. Bach Jespers of Belgium, 44-18. Melania Rossi of Italy, 44-16. So the players you need to watch right now, besides those three, to see if they can hang in there, is Karina Hugen here in our featured pair from Switzerland. And she just threw 3 strikes in a row on 17 and 18. She's at 43-60, so 56 pins out. Charlene Lim of Singapore is at 43-59. She's 57 pins out. And then there's a couple players distant, but still possible, depending what happens to 22 through 24 here in our final game. Great start to our left for Quintanilla of El Salvador. Front 5. Looking for 6. He's up on lane 16 on the left side of your screen. High flush for the front 6. Big shot here on lane 17 for Hugen. Looking for 4 in a row. Fighting for a spot. Great shot. And she liked it. Rightfully so. Seeing what she's made of here in our final game of qualifying. 2 hours from now, the men will be underway here at Bowl 300. Final squad for them. Hugen with the 610 in the 7th frame. Still fighting. Quintanilla to our left has the front 7. All right, and Quintanilla to our left, front 7, stepping up on lane 16 now. We'll be able to see her go up there in a minute. Looking just a perfect through 8. Had 1 perfect game so far this week. Annie Wagner of Sweden during game 2 of qualifying. And Quintanilla still. She's 8 for 8. She'll finish on that lane. Think we can get a good angle on it. It's our final game of qualifying, so we'll be able to turn the camera if we need to and reset it in time for the men a couple hours from now. Stephanie Martins quietly getting things done here on our featured pair. She's a lock for the top 24. String of strikes at 6 ends their in the 8th frame with a 10 pin. Shot there by Vander Tol, 7 uncooperative. So great game for her though. She's been trying to fight her way into the top 10 all day. Hugin. Light mixer, the 8 goes late. Still alive here at the 2017 World Cup. Not sure if they have looked at the standings and know what's potentially on the line here. 8 more games of bowling tomorrow for the top 24. Can she get there? Calculator out. So we get down to our final frames. Game here for Stephanie Martin. She's been just inside the number all week long. Now, big push here in the final game. Bad news down yonder for Singapore. Lim split in the 10th frame. So likely there will not be a repeat for Singapore here at Bowl 300. Quintanilla has the front 9. So let's see if we can get a look at that. The cross is over. So a little out of focus, but we got it. We're here, front 10 for Quintanilla. See if we can zoom in a little bit better. there we go. Front 10. Salvador's Edith Quintanilla. Going to stay perfect. That one's high. And a little too high. Leaves the 6 pin with the spare 289. She's already in the top 10. Great run there for this, potentially the second perfect game of the week. A little bit short, but we'll see her again for 8 more games tomorrow here at Bowl 300. All right, we'll get you the scoreboard as best we can here. And try to get caught up now on what happened across the house. They haven't disappeared yet, and they have, unfortunately. Charlene Lim is done bowling. She bowled 175 in her final game. Total 45-34. Hugan, disaster in the 10th, 228. Finishes at 45.88. Erin McCarthy on 270 pace this game. Things looking good for her to move up a spot or two. Great effort by Stephanie Martins here. Jenny Wagner bowling well again. She's going to be your leader. Nothing huge from Stefanova from Bulgaria this game. All right, we're just gonna hang out for a couple minutes. Let our final pairs finish up here. See if we can at least guess what that number's gonna be. right, show you a little bit of bowling, at least, as we wait it out. Over on 25 and 6. Block Jespers. Can get to 207. Should be enough. We'll be back on in a little less than 2 hours. The men hit the lanes at 3:30 local time, 5:30 Eastern. See if we have any drama. All right, 182 for Chan of Hong Kong. .4604. Again, 22nd place. Jespers 23rd. Rossi 24th. So most of the action happening now to our right. .194 for Julia of Catalonia. She is not going to make a move here. .226 for McCall down. Maybe a little bit too far down. So just waiting on Jespers and Rossi now to Turn the camera one more time. Kind of see a little bit of what's happening. All right, so waiting on these final scores. Jesper's in the books, looking safe. Shoots 207 that game. So we had speculated that the top 21 were safe coming into this game. Now we're just waiting on Italy's Rossi to finish things up. She's going to shoot 200 this game. So her max score, 225 still. So it appears there will be no change, just the change in the order. But unofficially, at this point, it looks like Hong Kong's Chan will hang on to that 24th spot. So potentially just a flip-flop there. But 22, 23, 24 should be in no particular order here. Rossi, Jespers, and Chan. And we'll know unofficially in just a moment as the staff able to get the scores updated extremely quickly after each game. All right, we'll wait for the unofficial number. That'll be up on the website there pretty quickly after this squad is over. And then we'll see if we can't talk to our leaders, get some pictures and more for you. Final frames coming up. Sit tight. We'll be back with that number in just a moment. right, Rossi finishes with 215. So unofficially, she goes to number 22. Jespers is 23, and Chan is number 24, all mathematically. And these last couple of players are finishing up right now. And we can take a peek at the standings. Hermosillo is going to be in the top 3. So no worries there for her. Going well this game again. They're pulling out their final couple of shots right now. We'll be back again on the air for the men at 5:30 Eastern. So hour and a half. We'll get reset here, talk to our leaders, take a few pictures, and get started on the recap for Bowl.com tonight. What an exciting finish for our final spots. We look pretty good at the top of the standings here. Jenny Wegner, Vanessa Timter, Rocio Estrepo, Erin McCarthy, big finish. And she should be up in the top 5. 258 final game. How about that? For Team USA getting hot at the right time there. And Rocio wraps things up. Howell going to throw the final shots of this round of qualifying, folks. It has been a pleasure. We'll get those unofficial numbers for you as soon as they go live.
Luis Iserte, please report to the tournament office. Luis Iserte, please report to the tournament office. Congratulations, ladies. If we could have a meeting of the top 24 as soon as the results are posted. We would like all top 24 bowlers.
All right, Jenny Wegner leading the way. Vanessa Timter, Rocio Estrepo.
Top 24 bowlers.
We'll just read the countries here. That would make it a little bit easier. Sweden, Germany, Colombia, USA, Malaysia, Australia, Mexico, Philippines, Finland, El Salvador, 10th. Canada, Netherlands, New Zealand.
Ladies, if you did not
Suzanne Howell making her way into the top 13 there. Nice steady day today. Dominican Republic, England, Hungary, Norway, Brazil, Russia, Turkey, France, Italy, Belgium, and Hong Kong as expected. Nothing changed. First one out, Switzerland, just missing by about 16 pins. So that is going to do it for the coverage of the women's qualifying. We've got our top 24. That is live on the website. We do appreciate everybody being here with us today. Check out World Cup official page for all the details. We'll be back at 3:30 local time, 5:30 Eastern for the men. I'm going to go do some work. Appreciate everybody being here, folks. That is the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.